Deuteronomy 4. Now listen, Israel. Listen carefully to the rules and regulations that I am teaching you to follow, so that you may live and enter and take possession of the land that God, the God of your fathers, is giving to you. Don't add a word to what I command you, and don't remove a word from it. Keep the commands of God, your God, that I am commanding you. You saw with your own eyes what God did at Baal Peor, how God destroyed from among you every man who joined in the Baal Peor orgies. But you, the ones who held tight to God, your God, are alive and well, every one of you today. Pay attention. I am teaching you the rules and regulations that God commanded me, so that you may live by them in the land you are entering to take up ownership. Keep them. Practice them. You will become wise and understanding. When people hear and see what's going on, they'll say, "What a great nation, so wise, so understanding. We've never seen anything like it." Yes. What other great nation has gods that are intimate with them the way that God, our God, is with us? Always ready to listen to us. And what other great nation has rules and regulations as good and fair as this revelation that I'm setting before you today? Just make sure that you stay alert. Keep close watch over yourselves. Don't forget anything of what you've seen. Do not let your heart wander off. Stay vigilant as long as you live. Teach what you've seen and heard to your children and grandchildren. The day when you stood before God, your God, at Horeb, God said to me, "Assemble the people in my presence to listen to my words, so that they will learn to fear me in holy fear for as long as they live in the land. And then they will teach these same words to their children." You gathered. You stood in the shadow of the mountain. The mountain was ablaze with fire, blazing high into the very heart of heaven. You stood in deep darkness and thick clouds. God spoke to you out of the fire. You heard the sound of the words, but you saw nothing, no form, only a voice. He announced his covenant, the 10 words by which he commanded you to live. Then he wrote them down on 2 slabs of stone. And God commanded me at that time to teach you the rules and regulations that you are to live by in the land to which you are crossing over the Jordan to possess. You saw no form on the day that God spoke to you at Horeb, but from out of the fire. Remember that. Carefully guard yourselves so that you don't turn corrupt and make a form, carving a figure that looks male or female, or looks like a prowling animal or a flying bird or a slithering snake or a fish in a stream. And also carefully guard yourselves so that you don't look up into the skies and see the sun and moon and stars, all of the constellations of the skies, and be seduced into worshiping and serving them. God set them out for everybody's benefit everywhere. But you, God took you right out of the iron furnace, out of Egypt, to become the people of his inheritance. And that's what you are to this very day. Amen. But God was angry with me because of you and the things that you said. He swore that I'd never cross the Jordan. I'd never get to enter the good land that God, your God, is giving to you as an inheritance. This means that I'm going to die here. I'm not crossing the Jordan, but you will cross. You will possess the good land. So stay alert. Do not for a minute forget the covenant which God, your God, made with you. And don't take up with any carved images, no forms of any kind. God, your God, issued clear commands on that. God, your God, is not to be trifled with. He's a consuming fire, a jealous God. When the time comes that you have children and grandchildren, put on years and start taking things for granted, if you then become corrupt and make any carved images, no matter what their form, by doing what is sheer evil in God's eyes and provoking his anger, I can tell you right now, with heaven and earth as witnesses, that it will be all over for you. You'll be kicked off the land that you're about to cross over the Jordan to possess. Believe me, you will have a very short stay there. You will be ruined, completely ruined. God will scatter you far and wide. A few of you will survive here and there in the nations where God will drive you. There you can worship your homemade gods to your heart's content. Your wonderful gods of wood and stone that cannot see or hear or eat or smell. But even there, if you seek God, your God, you'll be able to find him if you're serious, looking for him with your whole heart and soul. When troubles come and all these awful things happen to you, in future days you will come back to God, your God, and listen obediently to what he says. God, your God, is above all a compassionate God. In the end, he will not abandon you. He won't bring you to ruin. He will not forget the covenant with your ancestors, which he swore to them. Ask questions. Find out what has been going on all these years before you were born. From the day that God created man and woman on this earth, and from the horizons in the east to the horizons in the west, as far back as you can imagine, and as far away as you can imagine. Has a great a thing as this ever happened? Has anyone ever heard of such a thing? Has a people ever heard as you did? A God speaking out of the middle of a fire and lived to tell us the story? Or has a God ever tried to select for himself a nation from within a nation, using trials, miracles, and war, putting his strong hand in, reaching his long arm out, a spectacle spectacle, awesome and staggering. The way God, your God, did it for you in Egypt while you stood right there and watched. You were shown all of this so that you would know that God is, well, God. He's the only God there is. He's it. He made it possible for you to hear his voice out of heaven to discipline you. Down on earth, he showed you the big fire, and again, you heard his words, this time out of the fire. He loved your ancestors and chose to work with their children. He personally and powerfully brought you out of Egypt in order to displace bigger and stronger and older nations with you, bringing you out and turning their land over to you as an inheritance. And now it's happening this very day. Know this well, then. Take it to heart right now. God is in heaven above. God is on earth below. He's the only God there is. Obediently live by his rules and commands, which I'm giving you today so that you'll live well and your children after you. Oh, you'll live a long time in the land that God, your God, is giving you. Then Moses set aside 3 towns in the country on the east side of the Jordan to which someone who had unintentionally killed a person could flee and find refuge. If the murder was unintentional and there was no history of bad blood, the murderer could flee to one of those cities and save his life. Bezer in the wilderness on the tableland for the Reubenites, Ramoth and Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan and Bashan for the Manassites. This is the revelation that Moses presented to the people of Israel. These are the testimonies, the rules, and regulations that Moses spoke to the people of Israel after their exodus from Egypt and arrival on the east side of the Jordan in the valley near Beth Peor. It was the country of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who ruled from Heshbon. Moses and the people of Israel fought and beat him after they left Egypt and took his land. They also took the land of Og, king of Bashan. The 2 Amorite kings held the country on the east side of the Jordan from Aror, on the bank of the brook Arnon, as far north as Mount Sion, that is Mount Hermon, all the Arabah plain east of the Jordan, and as far south as the Sea of the Arabah, which is the Dead Sea, beneath the slopes of Mount Pisgah.